Crystal, what's your favorite roadside attraction?
See, it's like I didn't know we were recording a show at our usual time again. And I'm like, what is my favorite roadside attraction?
Is it Dunkin' Donuts?
Of course not. I like the local places. When I drive, usually from here to Ohio, there's this one place. I guess I always have to use the bathroom at the exact same time because no matter, like, I was like, all right, it's time. I got to pull over now. It's the same place. And I get one of their sandwiches. Like,
I think it's just become a tradition and your body knows.
I think so. I'm on autopilot. So I do like the local places. That's me.
So the name of the place?
Don't remember. It has a red roof. You get gas also. I'm going to have to look on I don't know if you use Google Timeline and it tells you what you do the whole day. So I can look back at the last time I drove and it'll tell me exactly where I stopped along the way.
We did a show on Chicago last week. Here's a Chicago roadside attraction that Cheryl, my spouse, was telling me that she loved as a kid. Uh-huh. The Howard Johnson's restaurants that went over the highway. When you were coming into Chicago, cool. Remember those?
The Oasis, yes. Yeah, I did love those. Those were the Oasis. Yes, those were neat. And those were super close. It's like there's no need to stop because it's like for us, that one is either you're just starting the road trip or you're almost home. So it's pointless to stop at the Oasis, but those were always like, I know. Like I just remember going under them. I
don't think we ever stopped. I was always like, God, I want to stop at one of these sometime. But Cheryl was like, my dad would stop it every time. So we got to eat with cars going under us.
That is so cool. That is neat.
All right. On today's show, we are joined by a few people live with us. Mr. Between the Grand from Central Florida, Joshua in New Jersey. Hey. Hopefully they're going to help us talk about their favorite roadside attractions. A few weeks ago, you heard Rolando Pujol share some of the nation's best and most iconic spots like Wall Drug, the Enchanted Highway, some of the really cool fun, the Big Blueberry up in Maine. Now we are going to hear from you. Yep. We're going to share yours and a few of ours. Let's take another adventure across Americana, Crystal.
I thought you were going to say Texarkana again. It's like, that's
yes,
not
across
a real
Texarkana.
Place. Stop making Texarkana happen.
Come on.
Trying to make it happen.
Make it happen.
At the end of this episode and every episode, you will hear our gear of the day pick. So if you're looking for best in class gear that's worth the price, you're going to head to our Amazon page at stackingadventures.com/GOTD, which is also you can do gear of the day, and you'll help yourself adventure better, and you'll help the show, and you'll be adventuring for less money because we're cheap. I love telling people I'm cheap. My spiel about how cheap I am, and it always cracks people up.
But you're not cheap. You're frugal.
I'm frugal because I spend on the stuff that's worth it. But if it doesn't serve me, I'm okay with letting that go.
What's the phrase that's worth it that starts the show?
Let's get this show on the road. Did Joe just cut me off?
I did not.
Ready for adventure? From vacation to staycation, and from the mountains to the beach. This is the Stacking Adventures podcast.
Welcome back to the Stacking Adventures podcast. Every adventure has a story. Today we're hearing your story. That's what this show is all about. And so today, Crystal, we are diving into your favorite roadside stories. But I just realized you had a story you were in the middle of telling about being cheap. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's move on.
Oh, no, Joe. I wasn't going anywhere, as you could tell.
It was going.
I'm just cheap. End of sentence.
So that's the end of the story.
Yeah. If you're trying to get me to spend money on something that I don't want to do or something I don't love, joke's on you because I'm going to say no.
Nope, not happening.
Yep.
Well, I feel good because whenever I've asked Crystal to do stuff and we're at conferences, she's like, yeah, I'll go.
Of course. Well, because the very first one was free lunch. Sign me up. I'll listen to your spiel. Whether I'm going to say yes or no,
your spiel.
I will listen to a free lunch presentation.
That was a fun lunch. I was like, hey, Crystal, you want a podcast with me? And luckily she said yes.
Did you mean me? Are you sure?
You did say that. That was so funny. If you haven't guessed, she's Crystal Hammond.
And I'm Joe. He's Joe Saul-Sehy.
And with Joshua and Mr. Between the Grand, we are partying on YouTube this morning. On a lot of Friday mornings, we make the show. Today, we're talking about roadside attractions. And before we get to ours, let's share a few of them. I shared the fact that this was coming up in our adventures Facebook group. And I had a picture of this iconic Florida roadside attraction, which is this orange, and it says Orange World. And Adventure Joan said, my husband made us swing a quick U-turn to go to Orange World, not realizing there's like 100 of them, Crystal, and they could have just kept going and they'd find another one.
Well, the first one is the treasure. It looks like an old school football helmet. Remember when the football helmets were kind of leather?
Yeah.
Or the bomber.
Well, I don't remember that. You and I are way too young for that, but I remember. Yes. Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
Adventurer Steve, who also is the editor of the Stacking Benjamin show, he showed a photo of him and his phenomenal better half, Vicky, standing in Missouri in front of, Crystal, wait for it, the Uranus Fudge Factory.
Why did they pick that name, fudge coming out of Uranus? I don't even like to say it. It didn't even feel right saying that. Fudge coming out of Uranus.
I know, you think if you want people to buy the fudge, are you going to call it that? And yet it's always packed. And I saw a true professional woman who's on PBS all the time, Samantha Brown. Samantha Brown just went to Uranus Fudge Factory and was walking through it with their professional cameras and talking about just what a cool place it is. And I've never stopped, but it made me want to stop at the Uranus Fudge Factory. But both Steve and Vicky in this picture are holding their nose, which I think becomes an iconic picture. I mean, what great advertising, Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal's still like,
here's some fudge from Uranus. Thanks for thinking of me.
Well, Samantha Brown said
Uranus.
The fudge tastes really good. She said it tastes really good. I don't know.
You have to say the whole sentence. The fudge from Uranus tastes good. Gross.
As you go across Missouri on the highway, I-80, I believe, is the highway that goes across Missouri. You see signs for it the whole way, and the signs are hilarious. And I'm sure it gets the family talking, or you and your friends talking as you're on your adventure. And, you know, they have clean bathrooms there, so people stop. Speaking of clean bathrooms, Catherine said, I suppose Buc-ee's doesn't count. And Crystal, you and I said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Even Rolando talked about Buc-ee's is like the modern day version of these classic roadside attractions. They've got signs across America saying you can hold it for another 158 miles.
I believe also we posted, they have a sound mark, which is a trademark that is on a sound for, I guess, when they make a sandwich, they sing a song or something. They do something special when they make a sandwich or when they're chopping the brisket or something. I don't know.
Okay. I was at Buc-ee's last week. Not kidding. I was at Buc-ee's last week, and I walked in and they were singing some song and there was a bunch of people standing around. I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yep. So they have a trademark, like only they can do it. If you infringe, you got to pay up. Isn't that cool? They just opened one in Virginia, and the line was, people were in line like the night before just to get in. That's how crazed everyone is about it.
I think I asked you this before, but have you been to a Buc-ee's?
No, I didn't go to that. I'm waiting for the chaos to die down.
So do you know what the attraction is?
I mean, it's like a grocery store. Everyone goes live. I feel like I've been in one just because of a bunch of my friends in Texas also that go live when they're in there. And it looks like it reminds me of those, you know how they have those big Amish superstores too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are really cool. I guess it gives the Cracker Barrel vibe also. Like it's like you go in there and you're just overwhelmed, like sensory overload, because there's all kinds of stuff everywhere. Like It's like, okay, if you go in there and you need to MacGyver something, they're going to have everything you need to MacGyver, right. Whatever you need to MacGyver.
What's funny is, though, I could just go to a Walmart or a Target and get a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. I'll tell you, that is not the attraction of Buc-ee's. Joshua, by the way, hanging out with us, said, I'm not a roadside person because I go on autopilot mode. Once I get on the highway, no stopping. He said, I'm about to get married, so that's definitely about to change. So Joshua's here to take notes. So take notes of this, Joshua. This is what's cool about Buc-ee's. There's a book from the 1990s by Ken Blanchard, the same guy who wrote the 1 Minute Manager. So the 1 Minute Manager is this classic series of books. Another one that's big from that series, written by Dr. Spencer Johnson, was Who Moved My Cheese? Oh, yeah. So there's a bunch of these little thin books, but one of them is called Raving Fans. And in the book Raving Fans, they have a hypothetical gas station where there's some things they do for you and some things they don't. And I feel like, I don't know this, but I feel like the owners of Buc-ee's read this book, because attraction number one, they have so many gas pumps. And by so many, you've been to some of the big QTs that are out. The QT is another great gas station chain, lots of gas pumps. Or you've been to a Love's, where some of the Love's truck stops have lots of gas pumps.
Nope.
These guys have like 10 times the gas pumps. You are never going to wait for a gas pump at a Buc-ee's. That's number one.
Wow.
Number two is they have an around-the-clock bathroom attendant. The bathroom will always be clean, and there are way, way, way too many stalls. You don't wait in a line for the bathroom. And if you've ever driven on a road trip, you know how disgusting sometimes you feel like taking your life into your hands at the bathroom.
Well, that's a good point. And I'm also, Joshua, because a lot of my road trips, I travel alone, so I don't feel comfortable stopping a lot of places. So I plan out, like, I just go like little stops as possible. But the one time I traveled a road trip with a guy I was dating, he wanted to stop, and I was like, dude, why didn't you we just stopped for gas. You could have gone to the bathroom then. Because then it's like, after we're back on the road, like 20 minutes later, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm like, sorry, you missed your chance. But it is like, when you're traveling with someone else, they do. It's like, let's just stop. And look, there's a winery up here. We should stop in there. I'm like, no, we shouldn't. We've got somewhere to be on this 12-hour trip. And now you want to make it a 20-hour trip. So I'm with you, Joshua. So yeah.
But as we were prepping for these episodes, you said something really cool, though, Crystal. You're like, you know what? Maybe we should have stopped.
Yeah. Of course. Now, looking hindsight, I would love to do one of those slow, like, just pop into this town
and see what it's all about.
The homemade jam, because that's the cool stuff. It's like you get to taste all these, locally made confections and stuff like that. Like, we're known for our wild berries. Have some wild berry jam or wild berry, well, not wine if you're driving, or to take it to go.
Well, yeah, get the wine and have it later when you stop. We drive between Texas and Michigan and Ohio, where a lot of our family is, a few times a year. And Cheryl and I, on a few trips now, have stopped at different places. There's a town called LaGrange, just north and east of Louisville, which is just over halfway. And so we were going to stop for lunch. We broken the trip into two parts. We stopped in Memphis for our overnight, and then lunch the next day in Louisville. And instead of stopping in Louisville like we stopped at a few and found some cool restaurants there. We decided to stop in this little town. And instead of stopping at like a Taco Bell or whatever along the highway, Crystal.
Gross, anyway.
I know. We go like the 3 miles into town. LaGrange, Kentucky has a train track going down Main Street. There is a train that drives down the middle of the road, Crystal.
Oh.
It is
cool,
crazy. It is really neat. And they had all these cool shops. Cheryl ended up buying a dress there. We went to the coolest deli. We walked down the street, the shops in LaGrange, Kentucky. This town I'd never heard of, to your point. I had no idea. Just
interesting.
Really, really cool little place.
Adventure.
But there's more about Buc-ee's. I'm not done with Buc-ee's.
What have you done?
Buc-ee's. So if you're stopping for gas, you're going to get a gas pump. Then you go to the bathroom, you're in and out, and it's going to be clean. The third thing is, if you want something to drink, there is a wall of soda fountains. You will never wait in line to get a drink. And then the last thing is, they always have, I get the feeling for the number of times I've been there now that everybody is a part-time cashier, because if they ever see anybody waiting in line to check out, somebody comes running up and goes, I got you right here.
Oh, wow.
And so I've never stood more than 2 deep in line, even when the place is packed, to check out. And so what they've done at Buc-ee's is they've taken all the pain points of your trip and they've gotten rid of them. And you know what's happened is, when I first went to Buc-ee's, I was in and out. I would get gas, or I would get gas, go to the bathroom. Now I get gas, go to the bathroom, get a drink. The last couple of times I've been there, I found they have homemade potato chips now. They have these things called beaver nuggets. It sounds as bad as Uranus Fudge Factory.
Right.
But the more times I go there, the longer I stay.
Yeah.
And it's only because they get rid of the pain points.
I like that, because usually also another thing when traveling is, you would definitely not use the bathroom at the gas station. I would go to a hotel and go to their bathroom, because I always knew they would be clean, because everyone has their own bathroom. There's hardly people using the hotel lobby's bathroom. They have their own bathroom.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's what I used to do. Look for a hotel to go to the bathroom.
Well, the cool thing,
clean.
As a single woman, if you're traveling by yourself, I mean, you're nowhere safer than in a big crowd of people too.
Yeah,
and knowing that Buc-ee's now is always crowded as well.
Yeah. And you can kill all those birds with one stone. I like that.
Right. Just boom, boom, boom. At the North Carolina, South Carolina border, adventure Laura says, this big, huge statue of a guy in a sombrero at a place called South of the Border. And if you're from the Southeast, Laura says, everybody knows South of the Border, but a gigantic statue of this apparently iconic guy. I think I've seen him once.
I have not.
Yeah, just south, I believe, just south of Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah, definitely not been.
But some of these iconic people, my sister sent me a picture. She and her family just went on a trip to northern Michigan, and they went across the Mackinac Bridge. And just north of the Mackinac Bridge, there's one of these roadside attractions, Crystal, that's called Castle Rock.
Oh.
And Castle Rock is this just kind of weird looking rock, but from the rock, you can get a great view of the Mackinac Bridge from the north side. So you'll see this is a bridge they made going over to the rock for people hanging out with us live. And when you're at Castle Rock, though, of course, here's my sister and her family.
Aww.
But look at, in the background, you have Lake Michigan. And from there, you also have a wonderful view of the Mackinac Bridge. But not just that, talk about kitschy, like the guy with the big sombrero south of the border. They have Babe and Blue Ox, the old legendary giant guy and the giant blue ox, the lumber people.
With his suspenders. Yep.
Yes. And of course, like every roadside attractions, there's a chain link fence around it, which totally ruins your picture.
Well, it's definitely totally necessary. I cannot imagine what they've done to that poor ox.
You can of course buy all kinds of t-shirts and bumper stickers and stuff there. I mean, all the trash that you want at that spot.
Stuff you definitely don't need.
I'm going to tell one story before we go to our break, Crystal, if you don't mind, about a roadside adventure that I alluded to before in Sweetwater, Tennessee, called the Lost Sea. So in the back of a Rand McNally atlas, Cheryl and I found this list of roadside attractions that don't suck. And it didn't say don't suck. It probably said roadside attractions that are worth the stop.
Okay.
And so they had Wall Drug, which Rolando brought up, which is out in the middle of nowhere. And as you're traveling across the plains, the place to stop for free water, it says at Wall Drug, free water at Wall Drug. And it's this huge place, and you see jackalopes there. It's so funny, so campy. This place, the Lost Sea, is North America's largest underground sea.
Oh.
And you stop there, and it totally looks, when you go there, the signage. I showed you the signage. I showed our people in our adventure community the sign. It looks like such a ripoff, like just this cheesy sign.
Like old school. It's like you guys couldn't update this sign in the last since the 70s.
I know it's 65.
Even older than that. Yeah, it was older than that.
And you go there. Of course, they have a putt-putt golf course that you can do. And they have fudge that you could buy. They have T-shirts and all
Not
the
from Uranus. I bet that fudge isn't from Uranus.
Yeah, second-class fudge. And then they have enlarged a hole, which used to be, there was a natural opening, but it wasn't safe for people to go down. And they enlarged the hole. They drilled in and put a modern staircase down into this cave. And so it was $17 when we went to get in per person. It was our family of 4. We walk down these stairs. You go with a guide, and the guide takes you into these beautiful caves, and they have lights, and they talk about how the cave had been used over the years. And if you've ever been to a big cave like Mammoth Cave, they use these for tuberculosis treatments way back when, thinking that the cave air would help people. They mined saltpeter during the Civil War, which they would use in their guns to fire the guns. There was a disco down there in the 1970s. Somebody turned it into this underground disco. But you walk through this cave, and they keep it dark, and then they click on the lights, and you're looking as far as you can see. You can't see the other side. This huge underground lake. It's North America's, according to them, North America's largest underground lake.
Wow.
And you get in a glass bottom boat with a bunch of people, and they take you across the lake, and they slowly turn on lights that they've installed on the ceiling as you go across the cave. And we get to the far side, and this thing's fascinating, and it's huge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is worth $17. It is so awesome. But so we get there, and our guide takes out a little baggie, and he's got some bread, and he takes the breadcrumbs, and he shines his flashlight down into the water, and these fish come up, these trout come up. They originally put trout in this lake because trout will try to find the source, and they wanted to see where it came out, if it came out at another lake, if it whatever. So they tagged the trout, and they tried. No trout has ever made it out, but they have discovered that underground, this waterway system goes a lot further. So it's still a mystery where this ends up, where it comes out. But the trout, the guy explains to us, the reason these trout are white is because of the fact that there's no sunlight. And so the trout are white because the scales kind of reflect the sunlight. They're also blind. And because of the fact that there's no vegetation in this lake, because it's an underground desert, there's no way for plant life to live inside the lake. The trout spawn in that plant life, and because people brought those trout, there's nowhere for them to spawn. The trout just die, Crystal, and they float to the top, and they take them out. And so then somebody goes, so how are these trout there? They're like, oh, we just fed in new ones. We fed in new ones.
Oh,
and then somebody said, so why are there, why are you still putting trout there?
Oh, man.
And the dude said, the thing that was the best roadside attraction statement ever, and exactly what I wanted to hear. The guy goes, well, we thought you could see the North America's largest underground lake, or you could see North America's largest underground lake with fish. And I said, I paid $17 for this. I need a few fish to die.
Oh my goodness.
And it was funny because it gets really quiet, and I hear this little voice in front of me. The conservationist in my family, my lovely spouse, Cheryl. Finally, after it's quiet for a second, as everybody's kind of getting their head around this, I'm like, do I need to see fish for $17? Cheryl goes, you ever consider not doing that? And the whole boat kind of laughs. And the guy's like, yeah, well, we thought about it, but we keep doing it. So I'm not in charge.
Oh my goodness.
And so we're at the far end of the lake when this happens. And he turns around, he starts motoring us back across the lake to go back. We get about halfway through the lake, and this dude in the front of the boat goes, "Wait a minute, aren't we going to see the stalactites that look like California?" And the guy stops the motor. He goes, "Yeah, we can see them. But how did you know that we even have those? Like, we spent enough time back there talking about the fish that I wasn't going to show you those."
Okay.
And the dude goes, "Because the last time I was here, the guide showed them to me." And my whole family looks at each other with the same thought. "You came here twice?" Like, don't get me wrong. I think everybody should go once. I think this was really cool. It was worth 17. It was so fun. It was so campy. I loved it. But why the hell, Crystal?
He's probably bringing new people. He's like, wait till we get to this part.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Crystal. I would tell you to go. I'm not going with you.
You're not going with.
I'm not going back. But the guy goes, "When we came here last time,
they probably had more babies." There you go.
Maybe. But we went over and we saw the stalactites that looked like California, and they were in the shape of California. It was really neat.
Oh.
We saw those. And then we went back across the lake.
I love technology that they're tracking the trout to see if any make it out. I know people are controversial about AI, but I bet they're going to have a way to tell us, like, ooh, those two are in an argument right now. Do you want to listen in? We have AI transcribe what they're saying.
I think just the comedy of that would be great.
Oh my goodness. That'll be so funny.
So when I posted just pictures of the Lost Sea saying I was going to tell the story on today's show, Adventure Jamie said, "I've been to the Lost Sea Adventures, ! It's up the road from me. Rock City is cool. That one is near Chattanooga. As you're driving on I-75, visit the amazing Rock City. I've never stopped." He says, "I love the Windmill Army along I-65 in Indiana, heading towards Chicago. If you're south, I think you pronounce the town Kankakee, as you're south of Chicago." And I know exactly, Jamie, what you're talking about. There are so many modern windmills as you're going by. It isn't meant to be a roadside attraction. It just is energy. But there's so many of those windmills.
They look pretty.
Oh, it is really, really cool to watch them. Great stuff, Jamie.
Thank you. Well, is that our halfway point?
I think I hear the music coming up.
I think the music is coming up. So now, you guys, we're halfway through the show, which we said this was going to be a short show, and it's long again. We love it. It is. We have an elusive. Every time we record, we're like, "Oh, today's going to be short," and it evades us once again. But at our halfway point, it's our road trip pit stop. So on the pit stop, you're always dreaming about what's at the end of the adventure. See, like me, my impatience. How cool will it be when we get there? Are we there yet? So our pit stop is a hint at our gear of the day, and you can see our past gear of the day picks at stackingadventures.com/GOTD. We even have some that previous guests have told us about. So Joe, can you tell us our hint for today?
Yeah, so this is another favorite, best in class, which is why I love our gear of the day. This is, last week you had a travel journal, ended up being the gear of the day. This is along that same vein. This also helps you remember the memories in the best way possible of your travels.
I don't know. I can guess some of the stuff you guessed since it's around the same. I don't know. Like a Flickr account or something.
I know. We have to do a gear of the day that's that at some point. I did this specifically. I will tell you this. It's not one of those accounts where you make the books. I love that.
Okay. I've not done that. I would like to do that.
All right. Crystal, you think about it. We're going to have our break. Adventures, you think about it. We'll be back with Crystal's guest in a moment.
Okay.
Crystal, this goes hand in hand with your journal, your travel journal. Helps you remember memories, I think, in the best way possible.
It's 8-track. An actual video recorder that you used to have on your arm,
like
the old school. Okay, your cell phone. That's all I could think of to capture your pictures.
Good cell phone. A good cell phone would be
storage. There you go. You need to clear out your storage before your trip, or at least plan out what folder you're going to save everything to. Because then that's a whole other issue of your random pictures. Because then you have random memes you want to save. Then you're like, I don't want these memes a part of my photo album from this trip.
Something I didn't do that was a huge mistake in my settings went from phone to phone was I never turned on the location feature of your camera. Huge mistake, because now I go back and I'm trying to put them, because now with modern technology, you get this map of the world. Right. And when you look at your pictures, you can go, oh, I was here. Boom.
The whole coordinates. Yeah, it zooms in.
It's so good. It's so good. And now I have to do that manually with thousands of pictures. So
dang, that's
not great. All right. We will find out at the end of today's show if that is, if she is.
That's correct.
In the ballpark. I want to start the second half. I told a story at the first half. There is a big roadside attraction. There's a whole city that's north of where you grew. Well, north and west of where you grew up.
Yeah, around the corner.
When I think of roadside attractions, locals might say this isn't a roadside attraction. This is a destination. I think of it as one giant roadside attraction.
Really?
And that's the Wisconsin Dells.
Huh. It was our destination. We were there for a couple of days. Growing up, that was our big family vacation. We went to Wisconsin Dells. And you know what else? A totally side story. I'm in my Joe bag today. I'm going to tell a side story. Growing up, like our summer vacation, like me and my little brother used to go with my grandma to my aunt and uncle's house in Milwaukee and house sit while they were on a real vacation.
Oh
so that used to be our summer vacation.
Milwaukee became your vacation.
Yes, yep. Hop on a Greyhound bus. And I was traumatized the first time when I had to go to the bathroom, because I think I was like 5, and she's like, okay, here's the bathroom. And when you close the door, it gets dark. So I screamed my head off. Everybody was laughing on the bus. So I'm like, it's dark in there. She's like, well, if you lock it, the light will turn on. I'm 5. I have no idea what they're telling me to do. I just have to go to the bathroom. So that's a side note of, yep. Oh. So after all these summers of going to house sit, one summer we went to Wisconsin Dells, and it was a lot of fun. So I guess that's our Disney. That's the Disney of the Midwest next to Cedar Point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they have my favorite attraction was the Robot World. So instead of
Robot World,
they had a Robot World. I forget who it's. There's a guy that created it.
Spoken like a future engineer, by the way. Of course, you were destined to be an engineer if you like Robot World.
Oh yeah, that was the most. And of course, I thought I was going to bungee jump. So my mom was like, "Oh, you want to bungee jump?" So she's like, "Well, I'm not going with you." So me and my cousin, we walked the whole way. And we were walking, it wasn't roads like the whole way. So we walk and we get there and they're like, oh, how old are you? 13. They're like, okay, get parental consent. And it's $60. And we were like, first of all, who has $60 just floating around as a 13-year-old? And second of all, my mom said no, I was just going to come do it on my own. So we made the long walk back, and she was cracking up too. When we got back, she's like, so how was it? I think she knew they were going to say no because we were underage.
What if they had said yes, though? Would you have followed through?
No, I was terrified when you seeing the bungee jumpers from the car and then standing there and you look up, you're like, okay, no thanks.
And I was even thinking from earlier in this story, if you're afraid in the closet, like the bungee jump, it's going to be like 1,000 times worse.
It was Tommy Bartlett. I don't remember who that was. Maybe that's just the owner, but yeah, he was the one that created that's what it was called, his Robot World. I just remember his signature being all over everything. But they had, of course, like the Star Wars stuff, because C-3PO, The androids, the original androids, that was the most fun part. And of course, the water park. You need a day for the water park and then to see Robot World and the go-karts. I didn't like Big Chief Go-Kart Land because I was super tall and my knees were just too much for the go-karts. But yeah, Wisconsin Dells.
Does Robot World still exist?
I believe so. It says it does.
Let's look it up.
Let's see. Science Museum in Lake Delton, Wisconsin. They get
Ripley,
a 4.5.
Tommy Bartlett Exploratory.
Ripley's.
It's owned by Ripley's now.
Ah.
How about
yeah,
that?
It's still open. Oh, and they had the gyroscope. I got in the gyroscope where you stand like you what was the guy? Not Galileo. Where he looks like he's in the globe with his arms, and then you stand in this X and they strap your hands and your feet. You get in the gyroscope and it rolls you around in all different directions. That was fun. That is. Maybe that's when I knew I wanted to be an engineer.
We talked, a few weeks ago with Robert Niles, a theme park insider. There's a couple of iconic roller coasters. The Wisconsin Dells Mountain Coaster, I think, actually just kind of sends you down the mountain, low to the mountain, and it's like a ride through the mountain. The Hades 360, though, is an iconic roller coaster. It's a wooden roller coaster. I've heard from a lot of people, it shakes your teeth out now. It is so, it truly needs to be fixed up. Yeah, like they did that with that roller coaster at Cedar Point where it's now called the Steel Vengeance. That they put a steel track on it, tightened it up because that thing rattled so much just from the wood breathing over, the years that the track got more loose. Yeah. Hades 360 though, iconic roller coaster, blast from the past that's still open today. Down the road, by the way, from the Wisconsin Dells is a place that my family stopped when I was in high school. And it was called the Baraboo Circus Museum. And it was the home of the circus when they weren't traveling. And now you can go there and it still is this amazing place where there's only a few people working every day, and they do all the different stuff. Like you go through these barns and you see the old circus trains and the old circus outfits that they used. There is if you like anything circus, it's great. The gift shop was really neat. I still flip through this book that's all this old circus stuff that I got there the last time. It's funny because I went there when I was in high school. I took my family there maybe 15 years ago. And it was funny because I was even telling my family, I'm like, I'm not sure if this is as good as I remember it, but I just remember this being a lot of fun. So let's just stop and see. Mm-hmm. And as my family's leaving, and you got to make sure that you see they have a One Ring circus show where the same guy who's the acrobat is also the higher wire performer who also brings all the elephants out, or what dudes are doing 3 and 4 things. The woman's doing 4 things. The guy's doing 4 things.
Bearded lady.
Yeah, it was so amazing. My family got back in the car and we all still talk about how amazing Baraboo was. And I know that on Stacking Benjamins, we have a few listeners from Baraboo. Glenn, we're talking roadside attractions. Glenn just said hello from Texas, down the road from me, maybe, or maybe Glenn's even in Texarkana with me. So come on over, Glenn, and
your imaginary friend Glenn in Texarkana.
My imaginary,
an imaginary Texarkana.
Imaginary friend, the imaginary place. Yeah, but Wisconsin Dells. I mean, maybe that even warrants a full episode if people are really
right. Has anyone else been there? It was Ripley, because remember I said the signature, Ripley signature. That's what I remember. The Ripley's Believe It or Not, because they had a whole thing on that too of Believe It or Not.
Oh yeah, and I've never gone into any of those Ripley's Believe It or Not, and they have a Ripley's museum they have one of the wax museums, which I think the Madame Tussauds. A lot like Ripley's, but they have a Madame Tussauds museum in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where the national park is, of course, has a bunch of cheap roadside attractions all along that strip. One of our friend Brent, Adventure Brent, says one of my favorite roadside attractions from childhood is down in your neck of the woods, Joe. Monster Mart in Fouke, Arkansas. Fouke is maybe 10 miles away from me. So, Crystal,
Fouke.
There is this. Think,
what
of course.
What Fouke are you talking about?
I bet they've never heard that before.
Never.
You've heard of the Loch Ness Monster. You've heard of the Great Yeti. You've heard the Abominable Snowman, but everybody has heard of Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
And in different parts of the country, they always seem to have their version of Bigfoot, and here is no exception. A lot of people around here have said that they have seen the monster of Boggy Creek. Or the Fouke Monster, they call it. So in the swampland that is around Fouke, Arkansas, people will go out there to fish. They will go out to hunt, and they will be out there in the bogs, deep in the bogs in southern Arkansas, and they will see the monster of Boggy Creek.
I don't want to find that.
But he says that there is a place I've never been called Monster Mart in Fouke, Arkansas. I can't wait to go now. Monster Mart in Fouke, Arkansas. Part convenience store, part cryptid museum, and part purveyor of Boggy Creek monster merchandise. Of course.
Monster.
Got to live that. Jennifer went through the Upper Peninsula recently and took some pictures.
The UP.
In the UP there. She said, I wanted to stop at the mystery spot. They have the mystery spot where you feel like you're going uphill, but you put your car in neutral and it goes the wrong way because it's all an optical illusion. Yes. She said, but the timing didn't work. I did stop by Mars, Pennsylvania to see the UFO. And she took a picture and shared it with us of a UFO in Mars, Pennsylvania. You got the same if you're in Roswell. All kinds of fun places in Roswell. We talked to Rolando about Roswell. Oh, she also says, if you're in Cleveland and you love the movie A Christmas Story, do you like the movie The Christmas Story?
Yes.
You'll poke your eye out with that. If you're in Cleveland, you love A Christmas Story, go visit the house where they filmed it. I actually, I did not, Jennifer, do that, but I'll tell you what I did do. They used to have a 10K called the Christmas House Run. And in mid-December, you would freeze your ass off as you wait for the start of this 10K. And you're downtown with the tall buildings. What was neat the time I did it, it was snowing, Crystal, and they're playing Christmas carols. And everybody goes out there, and all these people are dressed up. Some people are dressed like the dad, and he's got on slippers, and he's got his newspaper.
Oh, that's funny.
Some people are the mom with her hair in curlers, and they're running along with their hair in curlers.
Oh, that's cute.
Some people wear the leg lamp. And if you've never seen the movie The Christmas Story, you don't know what the leg lamp is, but there are people dressed as the leg lamp. So I don't think they do it anymore. I think it died with COVID. Hopefully it comes back.
Oh,
but that was the Christmas Story 10K was one of my favorite runs.
Huh. See?
And I
want to see if they do a themed bike ride. But then it's like riding a bike with a costume. You might get stuck in the spokes.
Yeah, that's harder.
Be so dangerous.
I do love those. Have you done any of those like 100K bike rides?
No, but I've done that. So locally, they do a Halloween bike ride where you, in Del Rey, they have a competition. So you actually go, we ride around all of the houses in the competition, and they have QR codes for you to vote on which ones you like. So that's cool ride. Yeah, that's a good ride. Then they have an art ride here in Alexandria where we ride against all the different like art installations around town, and you get to know the history about, you know, the artist and what it means. And there's murals,
that's fabulous.
There's sculptures, like there's all kinds of different things. So yeah, they have a lot of cool themed bike ride, and they're free 99, my favorite price as a cheapster.
I've done a few of the longer bike rides. One iconic one, the biggest one in the United States, I think, is called Hotter Than Hell. And it's in the summer in Texas. Just imagine it is hotter than hell. And they start it really early, and you can go anywhere from 25 miles to 100 miles. We did 100K. Wow. So we did 62 miles. But what's neat about it is it's easier than you think. You're riding through the Texas countryside. It's pretty beautiful. But about every 10 miles, they have a rest area, and you're eating M&Ms, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches,
yeah,
popsicles. I'm like,
you're
this
fueled.
isn't even hard because riding 10 miles sounds hard, but it's not.
No, I do
Anybody
that in the
listening
morning
ride 10
before
miles.
work. Yeah, I could do 10 miles before work. But I don't know, the endurance rides. Hey, I bet I can do it. I've done 25 maybe my longest.
You could easily, Crystal, do the 62 miles because you stop every 10 miles and just stay at the rest stop as long as you want, eat, drink as much as you want, and then do another 10 miles and do it again. You're going to be sore as hell if you haven't trained for it, but you can do it.
Oh yeah, I ride.
The 100-mile is wicked. That's harder. It's a lot harder. All right. Last thing that I had, by the way, while we were talking about these campy, if you take the Wisconsin Dells, the UFO, I'd need to do something on the West Coast. And when we were near the Redwoods, there are 3 different iconic places where, these Redwoods. Have you been to the Redwoods?
No, but I just saw some pictures of it. Like the age of one of the trees, some friends of mine, they were literally just there. And the age
they're gigantic.
Of the tree, it was like a 2,000-year-old tree.
So we went to one of these campy roadside attractions where we drove through the chandelier tree. And let me put it up on the screen for you.
Chandelier tree.
This is can I find it? I'm just going to share my whole screen. So check this out, Crystal. Oh, come on. Yeah.
Oh, you ride through the tree.
So the tree is so big you can take a car through it. What's funny is we were traveling with a group of 8 of us, and we got in a big Suburban that our truck wouldn't fit, and there were a few other trucks that wouldn't fit. So they would let you back in and back your tree in front of it, pretending like you'd gone through it.
In there.
And we took a picture of all of us. And if I can find it, because that was back when I didn't mark my pictures, I'll share it in our clubhouse.
Oh, okay. Well, that is neat. That's huge.
Yeah. Talk about campy, stupid fun. When we turned in, I was like, oh, this is going to be dumb. Was it dumb? Yes, it was dumb. But it was so fun.
Pretty cool. Really cool.
This is another tree near the Redwoods called Shrine Tree Drive-Through. A little different. You can see how old these trees are.
Yeah, I hope it's 1 mile per hour.
Yeah, the trees last for a long time. So,
wow.
All right, let's see if I can stop sharing and get back.
Wow, that's neat.
Well, adventurers, thank you so much for sharing so many great stories. We didn't have anybody brave enough to call in.
We want to hear your voice.
You don't got to be that brave to call in.
It's like leaving a voicemail, which
so
literally is a voicemail.
But still, you guys shared a lot of iconic places, and it's always so fun. And I think the lesson, Crystal, is kind of the lesson that you talked about, which is, you know what, on one of these trips, I just got to go a little slower.
Yeah.
Maybe stop somewhere and see a little slice of maybe weirdness.
Well, next time I'm home, also, I am going to the museum, Science and Industry, to see what's new.
Oh, yeah.
Been in a long time. And
from our Chicago last week. So we need your Chicago stuff.
Yes.
I know we also had one stacker who called in. One stacker, that's funny. One adventurer call in. And she had some Disney advice. So call in about Disney. We're going to do a potpourri episode with Disney, with Chicago. And you know what? If you want to call in and talk roadside attractions some more, we're happy to take that one. How do people leave the voicemail?
Yes, please head to stackingadventures.com/mystory, or voicemail, but my story. We're going to give you one track mind so you don't forget. MYSTORY. So stackingadventures.com/mystory. And you get to leave up to 5 minutes. Like, imagine hearing yourself and I would love for you to just casually turn it on in the car with others. Be like, oh my God, that's me. So please, we want to hear your voice, your story.
Yes. And if you know other people that like to travel, please share this show with them. Share it with people in the car about, we're headed to Chicago. Yeah. Let's hear Crystal share her amazing Chicago tips.
Bada boom, bada bing.
All right, the music's coming up. That means it's time for our gear of the day. This is our best in class gear, and I've got one. This helps you remember those memories in the best way possible.
A selfie stick. I'm changing my answer.
It is not. This actually goes hand in hand with your
journal.
With your travel journal. And I thought of it when you had your travel journal, because when I was on my book tour, different bookstores would hand me a Sharpie, and I just write so sloppy that the Sharpie was just super sloppy inside of people's books. And a friend of mine turned me on to a pen that a lot of people know about. And now I buy these pens all the time. So believe it or not, this is a pen, but I take the pen with me everywhere because it's my favorite pen. It's in my bag that travels with me everywhere.
Huh.
It's a Pilot G2.
Oh, okay. I've seen those.
And you could just buy these anywhere, but I don't know what it is about this pen. It just has the most satisfying writing. And
Satisfying writing.
I have two of them sitting here. I have this piece of crap pen here, which I will never use because look I got two Pilot G2s sitting here. But in my bag, I always have three of these. And if you're writing in your travel journal and you want it to look really, really nice, the Pilot G2 is my favorite pen.
Speaking of pens, that's usually a souvenir. Or if someone asks if they want me to bring them something, I'm like, I'll take a pen, like a local pen. And I have like from Louisville, I have the one that's shaped like the baseball.
Oh yeah, the baseball bat.
Yep, and even the Muhammad Ali Museum, it's one that has a little button you press, and a fist punches out, a little plastic fist. It's so cute, like little plushy. So yeah, I have.
That's
pens.
Cool.
A Dutch, one of those shoes. There's one on top of one of the pins. So that's one of my things too. Is a cool, funky local pin,
like even an iconic
Switzerland.
pen.
Yeah, I have a Swiss Army knife pin, but I had to ditch the Army knife part. You can't take those on a plane. Totally forgot.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Pin.
I brought home from Walt Disney one time an ornament which was Minnie Mouse inside a snow globe, and I had
Cute.
it in my carry-on. No, I had it in my carry-on.
Okay, good.
No, I was told I couldn't take it.
Oh no, because the liquid.
Yep. So I had to run back, and the woman. This is a shout out to the woman at American Airlines. She went back and found my bag. My bag had luckily there was nobody there. So I was able to get back there quick. She goes, I think your bag is still back here. She runs back. She pulls it back out. She goes, this is better than trying to figure out how to get it home. And she stuffed it back in the bag.
That was nice.
Yes.
Aww.
Fantastic. All right. That's going to do it for today. Coming up next week, we have, speaking of my better half, Crystal's going to interview Cheryl and I about our recent Adventures by Disney trip to Greece.
And that's a double fold because first of all, Greece, hello. And second of all, Adventures by Disney. So I'm like interested in both.
Right. And third of all, Crystal's been to Greece as well. So we get to hear Crystal's Greek tips as well.
Yes. This is an action-packed episode. And so we're recording at a different time. So if you want to tune in live, it's next Thursday. Wednesday evening.
8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be on YouTube. 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
So come join us live and pepper Cheryl with your questions about Greece.
Or marriage to Joe. No, just kidding.
It's a whole different kind of
Cheryl,
therapy.
how do you get a word in with this guy?
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
I won't get a word in. You'll see I talk a lot here because I can't do it at home.
Okay.
All right. She's Crystal.
And I'm Joe. He's Joe.
Go adventure, everybody, because this show is off the road.
And thanks for tuning in today.
Yeah, thanks to Glenn, Joshua, Mr. Between the Grand.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
Joshua, thanks for participating in the show too. You'll hear you'll hear all of yourselves on Tuesday's episode. And you'll hear it now with the music, with all the
fancy accoutrement.
Yeah, and some of the weird pauses taken out, like we edited a little bit. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you next time.
Bye.